Hello, Steve White, Trick Boy 89 for Steve Outs 89. Well, we are up to the 4th episode of Lower Decks. This episode is called Mugato, Gumato, which is a bit of a joke on the original series because I think the story was originally DeForest Kelley couldn't say the name of this alien right, so they basically just went with what he was calling it, and it's named differently in the script and I think the novel adaptations and stuff like that, so they're sort of making fun of that. Now, the episode starts off in the gym, and the boys, Boilerma and Rutherford, are in their Ambo Jitsu gear, and Mariner asked to join in. So they're like, okay, because apparently they've been training at midnight or something for 3 months or something to try and improve their skills because she beat the hell out of them last time. Well, they smack her in the face and knock her tooth out, and she goes mental on them and, of course, beats the hell out of them. And Shax shows up and he's like, oh, they beg for his help, and he's like, oh, don't worry, you still got 10 minutes. Okay, so there's 3 stories basically in this episode, which seems to sort of be the norm. The main story is the boys and Mariner beam down to a planet, and they find, because there's been report of Mugato on the planet when it's not it's not native to that planet. I was going to say natural to that planet. It's not native to the planet. So they go down, they find the Ferengi basically are selling them and poaching them and basically being Ferengi. So they try and intervene. There's a fight. The Mugato cages are accidentally opened and there's a Mugato stampede. Shax is bitten and Mariner sucks the blood out of his wound, but the boys don't see that as that because earlier in the episode there's this bartender who is a gossip and kind of a scaremonger, is trying to convince them that she's actually a secret black ops agent or officer, and that she's just using them as cover and she's not really friends with them, and she will basically kill them if she sort of had to. So they're scared of her, and when they see her basically sucking the blood out of Shax, they run away thinking she's lost her mind and she's sort of going to kill them. So they're hiding from her half the episode. And the second part of the episode, main part of the episode, second story I guess, is Tindy has been asked by the cat lady doctor to basically go and track down everyone who's been avoiding their physicals. So she goes through and she's stalking people one by one because she's actually not assertive enough, and like she actually has her patient taken away from her by a couple of other ensigns or medics or whatever, and the cat lady doctor basically sees her as easy. So she sends her off to do that because secretly she's avoiding her physical. So we go back down to the planet, and eventually they speak to Mariner because she gets stuck in a Mugato trap, and she basically reveals that she made up the story herself because she's using it again as protection from people because she's trying to create this image of her being this scary black ops officer. So they let her get captured so they can basically well, she's like, well, you guys have to be the black ops. You guys have to work out how to solve this because they don't have time to get her out of the trap. So she ends up being captured, and they go and they show up with what we think is a weapon that they've made, much like Kirk made in Arena. But what it actually is a projector, and they basically propose to the Ferengi you could actually make more money by creating a Mugato preserve and actually taking care of them, selling merchandise and tickets and everything, then actually poaching them or killing them or selling their horns or whatever. So that actually works, and shock horror, Mariner is actually acknowledging that they do things differently and that their ways are actually valid as well, which is absolutely bizarre. It's almost like the writers listen to the complaints from the fans about Mariner, and they're actually trying to retcon the character, which I'm glad they're doing it, but it is a sort of lack of integrity creatively to sort of do that, and I think that's what they're doing. Now, during all of this, one of the people who was poaching basically flew off in his ship, and he gets caught in the tractor beam by the Cerritos, and his ship is crushed, which is something we saw, I think, happen to... Was it Harry Mudd's ship? No. He hit an asteroid. Somebody's ship got crushed back in the original series. So it's another reference. And he basically... She doesn't want to get in trouble, so he basically manages to get a bunch of stuff off her, basically to compensate him for losing his ship. And then she finds out later that he was actually a scam artist, and he just does this on starships all the time, and his ship is designed to break apart or something. So she goes and captures him, and she actually sends him down to the planet and makes him basically clean up Mugato droppings, and for punishment, and so the story doesn't get out about what happened. So the next part is the end of Tindy's story. Basically, she catches... She doesn't catch it. She corners the cat doctor, and she breaks her arm in a turbo lift, and then... Jeffrey's tube. And then the cat lady's taking care of her, and while she's taking care of her, she scans her, because that's what she did with most people. She just sort of snuck up on them and scanned them. So she gets the scan, and she's like, what did I worry so much? And then Tindy, through all this, or just, I don't know, she just ends up being more assertive, and she actually steals the patient off the other people. It wasn't even her patient. She's acting like it's hers because she's trying to be more authoritative or whatever. And yeah, she basically says, okay, that's great, but it's not even your patient, get lost. But she says F you or F off, which is another issue with like the profanity in the show, which is really, really just there for the sake of it. It doesn't really... But I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole nother video. But yeah, so that's basically what happens in the episode. And it wasn't bad. The show is getting better. Like I said, they seem to be retconning the Mariner character. They seem to be validating and acknowledging the other characters like Boilerma and Rutherford, who basically both, used a different type of... They negotiated, basically. And they used the power of math to resolve the issue. So this is good. And the show itself, it looks like Star Trek. It actually has individual stories. And aside from the fact that Mariner was this tedious character who just did everything wrong and got away with everything, they seem to be pulling her back a bit and retconning her, which makes the show actually tolerable. I actually didn't mind this episode. It's the first episode that I didn't just pull my hair out because there was something so egregiously wrong about it. It was just, oh, okay. I'm waiting for the other shoe to fall, and it didn't. Like, the whole time I'm waiting for something bad to happen that actually outright insults Star Trek and Star Trek fans, which every other episode has managed to do pretty well. And nothing really happened, except for the joke about the name, which is an in-joke. And they do use several pronunciations of the name during the episode. Now, whether they messed up the name of the episode, the name of the creature more than once in that episode, or whether it's something that happened over the series, I'm not sure. I have to look into it more, or maybe they were just, building on that joke. But that was really the only thing that they did. I mean, they made little jokes like the last outpost star Ferengi. I'm like, that's the name of an episode. They reference the name of a Next Gen episode in the show. That's kind of like reducing it to a TV episode, which... That's a whole other thing. Like when one series refers to another series, it basically makes it fiction in their universe or something. So, but that's usually when you're dealing between different franchises. So how you do that within a franchise, I'm not sure. But I think I'm going to leave it there. Basically, it wasn't a bad episode. I almost enjoyed it. They seem to be walking Mariner back and actually retconning her and making her almost bearable, which is a good thing. And the Mugatos were scary, and it was almost funny when they were mating. I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop the whole episode, and I didn't really enjoy it because I was just waiting for something bad to happen. But I don't know, maybe the next episode I might actually enjoy. I don't know. I will see what happens. Are they actually changing the nature of the series, or was this just a fluke? I don't know. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Do you think the show is improving, or do you think this was just a one-off? Because I didn't hate it. It's the first episode I haven't hated. Yeah, I'm as surprised as you. Bye.